Gentlemen, welcome to your HSBN Media Day press conference. Coach, if you would, just start by introducing yourself and then the guys you had at the table with you today.
Casey Beck, it's going to my 5th year at Olympic Heights. I have junior Alec Marsuli and seniors Lance Dragos and Griffin Unger with me today.
Only graduated a few guys from last year's group. If I'm not mistaken, you returned most of the team, correct?
Yeah.
How valuable is that to have most of the guys back for another run this year?
It's great. This is the first year we've had all junior seniors, except with the exception of one. Our pitcher Dominic is a sophomore. So these are guys that have been with me since day one in the program, and for the most part, and they know what I expect. They know the expectations. So I think we're going to have a pretty exciting year if everything goes the way that we plan it. So.
I know last year wasn't necessarily the season that you guys were looking for. I'm assuming you guys are as eager as anybody to turn the page and get back out there. What are some of the keys that you guys can do to help get off to a better start and make this season what you want it to be?
I really think that in the off season, the way that we've been preparing for this season was a really big help to the way that we're going to start this season. We're really going to come out there this season, and I think that we have a really good shot at winning a bunch of games against the teams that we usually wouldn't have big of a chance against. So,
how did you guys spend your fall season?
We played in camp type deal at Lynn. We had like 10 other local high schools involved, so it was a good preview of what we're going to see in the spring. They were able to interact and learn a bunch of new things, meet new people, and we were able to actually coach the guys that potentially were going to come out in the spring. So just kind of getting a heads up. We're not blessed with a bunch of money and those type of things like other schools have. So the core of us and what I'm trying to do is keep us together instead of having everybody go to 50 different travel teams playing. I'm not a big travel ball fan, sorry, but I like having my guys at home, and for the most part, so I can keep an eye on them and make sure they're getting took care of and learning what we're trying to instill.
How valuable was that, that camp and that, the fall experience that you guys had?
It was really important because we all got to stick together and play with each other, learn each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that's going to help us, go into the spring, knowing what to expect from each other, knowing how we could work together, to generate more offense, better defense. We've been working together, playing together a long time, and we're really excited for the team this year.
Was there any particular aspect that you were, especially again in the fall and maybe carrying that focus into the season that you're saying, this is the area we need to improve the most on?
As an aspect, I would say like a team unity. Like we've gotten a lot closer, and it's made our teamwork and all the hard work worth it. And now we just feel like stronger as a team together.
You spoke about a junior, senior heavy group. Are there any newcomers within the mix that are going to be expected to contribute?
We like I said, we don't get a lot of transfers in and out. We're pretty much homegrown, but we were lucky enough to have a pair of twins come over, the Jacobs brothers from Somerset. That the older brother Ryan, definitely a big tall pitcher, is going to come in and give us innings right away. Throwing mid-80s and really doesn't know what he's doing. So as we develop him, it's going to be exciting to see what we can do. Also, transfer from Spanish River, Jake Longo, who I guess made some decisions we make as kids sometimes that weren't so much for the best. And as a senior year, we were lucky to get him. He just showed up, and he's worked hard since day one. And strong left-handed arm and quick hips at the plate. So all three of them have already come into the family atmosphere we've built and have bought in. And I tell these guys, we can control certain things like acting right, doing right, and giving all we have. And we need to worry about doing those, and then instead of worrying about things we have no control of, like umpires, the way the ball bounces, sicknesses, whatever. We're just going to chalk it up, play one game at a time, and do our best. I think we got a good squad, and I say that every year, but this is the year that the proof's in the pudding, hopefully, when we go out there and play.
I kind of get that feeling from the group this year. I just in these three guys alone, I see a focus that I maybe haven't noticed in years past. And I know you're catching. Remind me positions that you play.
Pitcher.
Pitcher.
Yep.
Catcher.
I was just saying this seems like you're middle of the field guys, if I'm not mistaken. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't incorrect with that. Pretty core element of the team. Talk about how important these guys in that middle of the team is going to be.
Lance, being a senior year, he's come from being Newcomers, from he'd walk 12 and strike out 13 his freshman sophomore year to now where we've had some time to work and he's relaxed and came into his own. And he's not a robot, so he's figured it out on the mound. This year at Lynn, we had a gun on him a couple times, and he was in the mid 80s with a different look that a lot of pitchers you're not going to see in the year. So he's worked his tail off to be one of our top guys on the bump this year. Marsuli works harder behind the plate than any catcher I probably had since a boy named Mitch Melton back in Myrtle Beach who went to the Naval Academy. He works his tail off. He's a natural leader and wants to get better. Not a big leaguer. I mean, that's why I love these guys. They're not big league hat to the back. We're too cool for school guys. We're grinding. We're coming in the morning. We're working jobs. Poor Griffin's missing work right now because this was important to him. And we're here for our brothers. And win or lose, we're going to go out there and battle. And these three guys, I'd take to a bar fight with me any day, and at least one of them would make a phone call to come get me. So I feel good with where we're at.
And it's really a great identity for you guys to embrace is that blue collar mentality. Kind of talk about that being the face of the Lions and how you use that as a strength.
Well, we as seniors have made it very clear to the whole team that we want, all focus this year. We want to leave everything on the other side of the fence, and when we get on that field, it's all gas, no brakes.
Share with me a little bit about the coaching staff. Who are some of the guys that are helping to make this happen for you? Because I know you got a core group. I think that has been with you since you got there 5 years ago.
Yeah, my assistant John Damian, who's my money guy, fundraising guy, and he's turned out to be a great JV head coach for me and takes care of all the X's and O's. That's hard for me to do, and someone I can count on who's there every single day for these kids and myself. Gary Fiat, who came down from New York, who's retired and drives down from Boynton Beach every day, never misses a day. Once again, he's a good role model for the kids. Andy Rafa, who a lot of people know in the community, used to have Players Edge, has been a valuable asset to me. Just my right-hand man. I can pick things off him, and he and I are the baseball guys that are out there. And I'll speak a little bit more on him in a second. We've also hired Frankie Hernandez this year, who was a player for me the last 4 years, who decided not to play ball at the next level, but he's coming back and been an intricate part so far helping us out. But with Rafa, not to get too extended, his little boy Jonathan was in a terrible car wreck. So he's one of our JV guys. 16 years old, was in a terrible accident on Super Bowl Sunday. He was T-boned on the corner of Atlantic and Lions and been in the ICU since then. So Andy's been gone, kind of got goosebumps now. He's the nicest boy. You don't want it to happen to nobody, but of all kids, it's been hard. And so, everyone out in baseball land, if you just think about my assistant coach's little boy, Jonathan Rafa, he's hurting right now. We'll go see him after this, and we're really going to dedicate the season to his daddy and him. So if all else, I tell these boys, you never know, when your last time you go pick up a baseball. And that really humbled us, I think, and gives us extra incentive to go out there and play hard for that boy and for our coach and for each other. So.
Yeah, from a player point of view, same thing. And we talk about having a motivation and some inspiration for something like that happened.
Yeah, well, the whole accident really took a burden on the whole entire team. I feel like you really don't expect it to happen to anybody, but in reality, it really can happen to anybody at any time. And we were all taken back by in shock at how this could just happen to such a nice kid like that. And I've never met anybody as just outgoing and as kind as him. And he's one of my really good friends. And it's just crazy how stuff like that can happen. But we're gonna go out there this season and really play hard and make sure we win some games for him and Coach Andy. So, I really hope he gets better soon as well.
Yeah, and I saw you nod your head as we were talking about the assistant coaches, the coaching staff. Just elaborate, share a little bit. How important those guys that crew is with you players.
Well, I feel like this year more than not, we have a coaching staff that's 100% dedicated to every single kid on the team, that doesn't pick out certain kids to be the better kind of group. We have just coaches that are focused on the team as a whole and don't individualize the select kids, and are really working hard to push us to be the best that we can be and never set us back from our goal. And they really just want us to win and have a lot of fun out there as well.
I was looking too, and I really like the way the schedule starts off for you guys. You start with 4 home games. You think that's one of the things that will help you get off to a fast start? So in the last few years, the beginning of the season has kind of been the main struggle point for you guys.
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword with how I had to do scheduling this year with my athletic director. So the way it worked out is just the way it worked out this year. What I am very happy is that it worked out where we're going to play Westbrook and Dwyer back-to-back as 2 important district games, and people thought I was crazy. And I tried to tell all them, if we're going to do it, we're going to have to do it at the end of the year. So why not get a preview in the middle of the year, and let's see, how low they can hang, and we can go out there and compete like men and not make excuses. So opening up with 4 in a row at home, hopefully we can go 4-0 or at least 3-1 at the worst, and get that momentum going like I had my first year when we got here, and upset the Royal Palm Beaches and jumped out to a huge lead in the district when we were a 7-team district. But I built the schedule. I think if we're not 500 or winning season, then it's going to be a very disappointing season for me as a head coach. I'll feel like I've let them down because we have talent. We can throw strikes. We can put the ball in play. And I think that we've gotten to the point where we're not scared of anybody. We're Olympic heights. No one expects us to do anything. So we're going to go out there and punch everybody in the mouth as hard as we can, and hopefully keep on walking until we're in the Final Four. And they're like, who the hell is this Olympic height team out here? And it'll be us. A bunch of good boys doing the things the right way, and good things are going to come to them.
Kind of embrace that underdog role, and the little snake in the grass, sleep up on the people, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said too, with the way that you scheduled the 2 key district games back to back like that, today's world, it seems like everybody will play every angle they can to avoid those type of challenges and put it as much as they can to help them, whereas opposed to you're embracing the challenge and going in. And I'll be honest, the majority of the state, especially towards the north, that's how they schedule their district games. They schedule the teams they're playing, like they'll play their 2 games in the same week, a few days apart from one another, really kind of show what you are. You have to win 2 district games that close, just like you said. Talk about being able to embrace that challenge as opposed to hide from it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. And that's the route that we're taking this season. We're playing the best teams just so we can get a feel for what they're going to be like in the district games. And I think we really have a good shot at beating them, Yeah.
And it's a smaller district, it's small, it's competitive, it's only 4 teams, one win, and you're into regional play. Talk about the advantages of that aspect of really it's 1 win to the playoffs.
It's huge. I don't necessarily like it. It's 3 and 14 districts are kind of tough. It's like kissing your sister kind of if you move on. When you got a 7 to 18 district, it's a little different. But like you said, that's why I guess it's even more disappointing for me when we get there and we can't be one of those teams that moves on. I feel that we should be able to do that ever since I got here. And we did do it 2 years ago, and then we gave Jensen Beach a run for their money, losing by 1 run up there. But this is the last year we're going to have this. I'm looking at how we're going to be reorganized next year, and we haven't had a district championship hanging in OH since 1996. So this is the last year, and I think this is the year we should be able to do it. And like Lance said, we ain't playing a bunch of Mickey Mouse teams all year. We tried to play the best. We're playing Douglas this year here at Douglas for their senior night. And I'll be everyone's senior night we can be. We got no expectations except go in there and, like I said, give them the hardest punch in the mouth we can physically and mentally give them. And if we walk away with a win, then we did our job. And if we walk away with a loss and our heads are high, then I've taught good men that are going to be good successes once they leave me, win or lose with a ball game. So we excited, man.
Well said, Coach. I think that's a great way to finish it up right there. I love it, I wish you guys the best of luck. Go out there and make it happen.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.